Now there's a blooper.
Yep. Got him.
There's a blooper.
I wasn't even trying. Just trying to do some B-roll. Welcome back to another video. Today I am at the Lockridge Furnace Museum, which is in Alburtis, Pennsylvania, which is part of the Lehigh Valley area. So this is part of a former coal burning iron furnace. It was built in 1868. It has some narrow gauge rail remnants and then some other historical stuff of different things in rail bed and whatnot. And there's self-guided tours, so it has placards around. But also my host for the day is Emerald Sound Productions, which he's coming around right now to peek in and say hi. So he's done you've done a video here before.
Yep.
And he's doing a video again today, and he's looking to see if he can do some drone footage to get you some good aerial shots. So be sure to go over and check out his channel in the link below to see what he has captured, and I'll link both videos in there for you so you can check them out as well if you haven't already seen them. So yeah, so we're gonna take a walk. I'm gonna let him be my guide and show me the different highlights of the area and bring you guys along as well. So alright, so as you can see here in front of us, there's an information board that shows pretty much everything of what we see around us here. I just snapped a picture of it, so I'll put that up for you to be able to pause and read. But we're gonna take a look at pretty much everything we have here around us. There's a bridge. I guess that's a walking bridge, but would that have been part of the line?
Well, that goes over the actual railroad that's there.
Okay.
Yet. So that is the actual Catasauqua and Fogelsville Railroad.
Okay, so that was a full gauge railroad then.
That was a full gauge railroad.
Okay.
The narrow gauge railroad's out in behind us here.
Okay.
Out in that area there, which we'll get to.
Gotcha. Okay, so that what he's pointing at right now with the bridge and talking about the full gauge railroad would have been this right here.
Yep, number 11. Yep.
And then 19 is probably what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, this is 19.
So this where they would have been dumping right here. So again, it's all on here. You guys can read up on it and take a look and match up. Get your little crayons out and connect the dots. And then send me the picture because I want to see it when you're done with it. I like arts and crafts. Alright, so where I'm standing now, as you can see behind me, there's a paved path here. So it's like a combination walking path, probably bike path too as well. This was the former Catasauqua and Fogelsville Railroad. And there's remnants of the line still here going underneath of a bridge that goes across over to where the office is now. And then there's two flat cars sitting here that they have on display. So we'll get you spun around here to take a look at that.
And this is just a car that they have here at the park.
There you can see Randy's looking for dates on the rails. Generally, I've noticed with these smaller rails, you really can't find a date on them.
Yeah, this isn't high iron.
Yeah.
They call high iron. This is the smaller rails.
Yeah. So here you can see they have just a section of it set up here, which I'm assuming is original rail.
Yeah, this is original rail.
Original rail, so it was here, and they just left this section intact to display these flat cars here. Which it looks like they took two of them and put them together, connected here to Knight Rider. Copyright. Alright, so you can see it looks like two of them put together. As you can see, there's a gap right here, and then there's two individual decking. So I don't know if they're actually just pushed together or if they're actually connected together, but the way they have them sitting here, they are welded to chocks to the track. So they welded the wheel to the chock and then the chock to the track, so there's no moving them unless you cut the welds. But if you really want to put forth that much effort, no, just kidding. And then here you got the bridge, which is a nice walking bridge at this point. So we'll probably get up there, maybe get you a view from up top so you can see what it looks like looking down. And you can see with Randy standing there, you can see the height comparison. Alright, so we walked from the bridge, you can see back there. Well, from what Randy's saying, the rail line made a real sharp turn right here to the right. Yeah, no, just kidding. It went straight, and the walking path goes to the right.
Yeah, that's it.
I was gonna say, that's a pretty sharp turn for a train, but never know. Technology. Not in those days, but maybe today. Anyway, so from what he's saying, the rail line went straight originally here and went across Church Street in through a development, and the street going into development is where the line used to go. And then they just made the walking path go back this way to go back up into the park here. So there may be remnants.
Yeah, there's no remnants, but if you look back through, you can see where it continued on with the cutout.
Where it's dug out. Yeah, you can see kind of see the cutout right there of where it went. So we're gonna head up this way. And there's again a look back towards the bridge. So looking here, right about there is where we walked out, and then if you look down through here, it almost looks like a creek bed. That's where the rail line ran through, and it came across the road over here into that development on the other side of the street. Alright, so taking a look at this pavilion, spinning around this way, you can see this would have been one of the sidings where the rail cars would have came in and dumped into the furnace.
The siding that came in here, and we'll walk up there and you can see the
which will lead right into where they would have dumped underneath to the pillars there. So obviously the rail would have been right here, running straight into these pillars. So we can actually get down in there, but we have to go down and around to get into that. So we'll take a walk down around the bottom and get a better look. So it looks like there was 2 lines here? Maybe? Was it 2 lines? Very well could have been. One where I'm standing and one where Randy's standing, because you can see there's an elevated bed right there and then a bed right here. So
the siding branched off into 2 lines.
Okay, so it was 2 lines. Yeah, because here you can see part of the steel structure of the bridge that would have been attached to that. There's still pieces of it right here. So that's kind of neat. So there you can see another where they cut it off, where the steel would have came across. So it's just that one spot where they left it. Down here they didn't leave it going out to these, but you can still see the anchor points on these pillars. So we did manage to pick a good day to come here because it's pretty peaceful. There's not many people here right now, and it's a nice day. As you can see, the sun's out. It was raining yesterday. We had some pretty good storms yesterday, and they're calling for more rain and storms this weekend. So we did pick a good day to come out here. Sun's shining bright. That's why I didn't wear a hat, trying to get some color on my, cut down on the glare for you guys. So definitely an enjoyable day. All right, wow. So here's a look of a placard here. I'll take a picture of it and throw it in here, but that'll show what we're looking at here right in front of us, which would be, this is what remains of it. Alright, so we found our way to the footbridge here. Randy was saying that this office over here, which is used by the park as an office now, is the old Weighmaster's station, and now we are above where the rail line would have been. And you can see the line down there, and then the flat cars are over on this side over here. So here would this Weighmaster, he said?
Yeah, this would have been the Weighmaster's house.
The Weighmaster's house, which actually looks like, to me, an old, almost kind of has that old schoolhouse look with the shutters over the windows, or something you'd see in like Williamsburg, Virginia, you know, historic places like that, Gettysburg. So it definitely shows its age, and it's still standing the test of time. The slate roof tiles and the brick,
and the scales.
And here's the scale right in front of us. Or where the scale would have been anyway. It's a wooden deck over it now, but right here is where the scale would have been. And then we got another information placard. Alright, so we've made our way back down to the rail line. We're going to head this direction towards what Randy's saying is a slag pile. So we're going to check that out, and then we'll backtrack back to the ruins here, the buildings here, and give you a better overlook of that once we get back in the area here. Alright, so as you just saw, I just put that information placard in. Now we're at this arch bridge, stone arch bridge, which conveniently has a walkway here, or I'm sorry, stairwell. Which conveniently has a staircase that you can come down and get some good shots of the bridge, which is actually brick and stone. It's a combination of both. So it's brick face with stone arches. And the creek here isn't very deep. It's probably even got a spillway on the other side. So it's probably like, this would probably be the deepest right here. Looks to be about waist deep, but over there it's probably about knee to ankle deep. So probably gets deeper down that way, but looks like a nice little spot to just sit and relax and contemplate things, or fishing, or enjoy the history of the bridge here. Pretty cool area. Nice little spot. Peaceful. So here's a look of the spillway off the other side. There actually is a wooden tie staircase here, which part of it is gone, but at least give you a look from down here. We'll look back towards the bridge, and then looking down into the water. There you can see there's some iron anchors or something right here with big washers on them sticking out. Alright, so as we're walking along, coming in from this direction, the bridge is down there. Already seeing remnants of rail ties here. You can make one out right here, right there, and then back here where Randy's standing. So it came in this direction. So this back here is where the slag pile would be. And of course we got a train off in the distance rolling through town, which I'm guessing the slag pile is right there. So we'll get that cool effect with the train in the background. Alright, so here we are walking into the slag pile. I've already noticed and picked up this piece here. You can see the color discoloration and from the heat. There's a couple big pieces here too. Well, there's a lot of big pieces, but like here you can see. No, you can't because my head's in the way. But here you can see the, I don't know what that would be called, but how the holes in it, what that would be. There's a name for that or not. So, and there's this one with this. This looks like melted glass right here, but it's, you can see how hot it got. That's kind of interesting. So it goes up into this area here. Oh, look at that. Some kind of concrete structure here. Is this where they would have dumped it from?
I'm not sure, RJ. I don't know if that would have been a dump site or not.
Huh. And you got anchors and everything up here. This kind of reminds me of when we did the Thomas Iron Works. Very similar construction. It's neat to see that there's actually still a timber on here too. That's pretty cool.
Even the photographs from 1948 that I found, aerial photographs, they still can't figure out what this was here. There's really nothing here.
Well, it was definitely something was mounted on top of it with the anchors here. So if any of you know the local history and know what this could have been, sure drop it in the comments.
Other than it being the slag dump area.
Yeah. Maybe it was like a conveyor with the rail line would have been down there. We're standing on a pile here.
Well, they had the rail line there, but then they also had a siding, or their narrow gauge came off for the slag area here as well.
I mean, that would be my guess.
Yeah,
maybe they had a conveyor to bring it up from the rail cars to this point and then shot it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea. Because it almost has that perfect form where it could have had a swivel to it to dump it right along this ridge here. But we're also standing on it too, so it's below us. It's all, and you see it all over in there too. Another one of those puzzle pieces you need to figure out to fit. But here you can also see it drops down to like a big pit over here. So we can actually take a walk out along this pile. And it's even down into here. So we'll take a gander out here. Pretty narrow, so I just got to be careful where I step. Gets a little wider here. Because from right here looking down there, that's a pretty good drop, probably about 20-30 feet. And you can see it's all piled into there and kind of gradually dissipating from there. And you can definitely tell, I mean, you can see how hot it was with the, like, when it was molten red hot right here. Kind of like lava, so it gives you that lava look. And it comes all the way out to this point right here and then pretty much just stops. And again, you got a drop right here and it goes down into the woods. There is a little more below us right here, probably about 10 feet down, and then it drops again, so we're probably at this point maybe 40 feet up. So again, this would be something you definitely want to watch your footing and be careful how you step, because you wouldn't want to fall off the edge of this. That would be painful. So I'm gonna head back, especially on this jagged rock. That would definitely hurt, but here, I'll give you guys a look. And they said it's gradually piling down to down here. Almost looks like there's a big boulder with like a small opening under it. I don't know that I feel like crawling down there to look at it, so I'm just gonna continue on to the next part of this adventure. Alright, so as we're walking back here, you can see this foundation here and concrete remnants. According to that map that we showed you in the beginning, this is number 23. This would have been the roundhouse, so there would have been a spur coming off of the main line, which would have been right here to the left. And by the looks of the grass strips, those would have been probably pits where the tracks would have come in, because you can see there's a plain as day, there's an opening there and an opening there where they could have brought the locomotives into this building here. They call it a roundhouse, but it's not actually round, it's rectangular, so it would probably be more of a locomotive shed. But you can see that it definitely has that look to it. Like I said, right here would have been an opening, so you would have been able to get a locomotive in here. Now whether it went all the way through or not, that I don't know. It almost looks like it could have went all the way through, but looking back over this direction, you can see almost looks like there could have been a man door right there, because there's like a step up to go in and out right there. Now, and you can see some anchors cut right here. Obviously this tree wouldn't have been here, but so here's the look at this one. It almost looks like it went through, so it may have spurred through and came back out. There may have been lines going back out to the main line here too. So, and there goes a bird. Alright, so to give you a little perspective here, what it says on this placard is: the number of buildings once surrounded the complex, each with their own function. Blacksmiths and carpenters worked full-time to keep the furnace complex running properly. At the time, iron production was an evolving science that required trial and error and constant innovation. The skilled workers who repaired and improved the furnace's machinery were on the front lines of that effort. Although most of the outbuildings were demolished, the arched doorways of the carpenter shop and the foundation of the blacksmith shop are still visible, which the blacksmith shop is right next to it right here. You can kind of see it, but I want to do a little walk around with this first before I get to that. So this would have been the carpenter shop. Again, it doesn't say anything about the locomotive coming in here. It says about how there were 3 locomotives here. They had their main, I believe it's pronounced Massiot, I'm not sure, but then they had 2 smaller donkey ones. It's in that placard there, so you can read that. It has the names. One was Fairy and the other one was Princess, I think. I don't remember, but like I said, you can see the arched doorways. Here would have been a man door. Some windows. It's kind of interesting how that is shaped though on both sides. It's on an angle. So I don't know if it was just cut down like that when they took out what they took out here, or what the purpose of that was. So it's quite interesting to see that architecture. Anyone had a big opening there, big window there, window here, window here. So this may have been just from collapse of the wall over time, and they just filled it with concrete to keep and preserve what's left here, to keep the rest from crumbling down. And then back here would have been some type of storage. This foundation here, according to the map. And then the blacksmith shop would have been right here where this picnic table is. So as you can see, compared to what we were just in, this is a pretty smaller section here. Smaller building, I'm sorry. Would have been a smaller building, so. And these guys maintained and took care of everything in the blast furnace to keep it up and running. Alright, so what you're looking at here would have been the carpenter's house for the site. What remains of it, as you can see, is was a pretty massive size structure and has pretty big arch openings. Now I don't know, it's showing a locomotive in that placard here. It's definitely big enough to have that locomotive come in here, and it does look like it could have had a spur coming in where that locomotive could have came in. Alright, so what we're looking at here on the ground in front of us is the base for the hot ovens, base of the stack, which have been a tunnel carrying water from the creek to the furnace, and base of new engine house. Yeah, so that all would have been in this area here. So I'm assuming, let's see, 13 base of the stack would be right here where this grate is. So this would have been a tunnel. Yep, you can see the tunnel right there. Well, I can see the tunnel, you guys can't, but it goes that direction towards the creek, which is over that way. And then this would have been the new engine house right here, the base of it. And then behind us, these two right here would have been the base for the hot ovens. Alright, so what you're looking at here would have been the casting house. And this is where you can see in this picture here, which I did put a picture up probably already. If not, it will come up after this segment. This just depicts what a casting house looks like, but it's not this one because there is a donkey in it and they didn't use donkeys in this facility. But that's what would have been inside of this. And the crazy thing about this is the molds, the workers, what they would wear to protect themselves back in these days, which was, according to this, 1921 to 1930 era, I should say. Their protective clothing would have been wooden shoes that slipped over their boots and extra layers of fabric that they wrapped around the lower portions of their legs to protect themselves from as best as they could. So this is actually a museum that you can go into, but it is right now closed for obvious reasons. So I don't know if we can actually see anything in there. You can see there's a brick floor in there, and then there's a giant model of the building itself. But I'm sure there's more displays and stuff, and so yeah, you can see actually part of the casting floor on the other side of the model from here. So maybe if we get around the other side, we can look in one of the windows over there and see it. And Randy is now flying his drone, so he's getting his drone footage. Looking through this window, you can see there's remnants of the casting floor of where they would have brought in the molten iron, where they would have poured it in and made the iron segments, and where the workers would have cast it into what they would call iron pigs. Now, anybody who knows the area, there is a local ball team called the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Makes sense now. Never knew that, never put that connection together, but now I know it. So, been around this area my entire life, and when they came up with that, I figured it had something to do with the history of the area. Well, now I pretty much confirmed it. So you can see this section here, there used to be windows along here that are all stoned in, and that would have been part of the structure as well. And then you got all this out here, so we should be able to walk in through here. This arch is pretty sweet. This would have obviously been a wall that I'm walking through right now. And here's remnants of something over here. So let me check the map on this, because this is pretty well mangled and destroyed here, unfortunately. But you can see here's some iron here. There's an opening here. You even got brick. Hearth something in woodland. Hearth and Bosch woodland is what's stamped into the brick. So this would have been something kiln wise. Let me look at the map here quick and I'll get right back to you. Alright, so what we're standing in here are the remains of one of the furnaces of furnace 7 and 8. So this in the middle would have been the stack, which would have gone up through. So there's another one over there. Which one was 7 and which one was 8, that I don't know. Maybe this placard here will tell us. Let's take a peek at this quick. Now this is life in a company town. So I'll get a picture of that for you. So what you're looking at here would have been the base of the new boiler house. And then this over here would have been the stack from the new boiler house, according to the map. Which has some pretty massive anchors. As you can see here, they're probably well over an inch thick. Probably an inch and a half or so. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8 of those. So that's pretty cool. And they went down pretty far into the concrete here, you can see. And there's a look back at the rest of the structure there. Alright, so coming out of the furnace area, which is right here to my left, you got this area here, which is partially fenced off due to dangerous objects, things falling, things like that. So the stone, the brick and whatnot. But here were these pillars here, which we were up top there looking down in earlier. So This almost looks like there could have been a floor above us, but I could be wrong because you got the big windows there, and we do have a train coming by, and we do have a creeper creeping on us through the window. Ah! So this may be another one of those tunnels. Ooh, that goes down pretty far. So yeah, that is a tunnel down there because it goes off to the left and the right. So that goes this direction. So that's pretty neat. That'd be cool to get down in there if we could. And you got this area here. You can hear the bell on the locomotive dinging right now. So this goes, well, let's take a peek back here because I think we're going to be heading back that way anyway. So looking back this way, this would have been where the rail cars would have come in. Yeah, the two lines where we were standing up there looking in this direction. So this is where they would have been coming in and dumping. So that probably would have come in through this way somehow, by the looks of it.
Oh, there's Blooper.
Yep. Got him!
There's Blooper.
I wasn't even trying. Just trying to do some B-roll. Yeah, that'll be Blooper. That'll be the B-roll. Blooper roll.
Yep.
So now we come back out into... Ooh, squirrel.
Really?
Sounds like he's sneezing. That is the closest I've ever been to a squirrel that did not run away. I don't know if you guys can even see it with the widescreen. What's up, little buddy? Yeah, squirrels in my neighborhood don't hang out like that when you... Oh, yep, see, there we go. Yeah, I can't even get to you, so you're good where you're at. You're better off just staying there.
You know me, it's not a video without wildlife. So there's the wildlife for the video.
There you go. So then we're back out in this section where this set of pillars are. And back at the main entrance, so. It's a shame that the museum is closed. It would be nice to be able to get in there to see what they have to offer inside there, but you can also see on the outside of this building here all the anchors, steel anchors, iron anchors that would be going through it to connect everything and hold it all together.
Here's the information at the entrance to the museum here. And then here's the
Some signage here.
hours for the museum. So I guess they're only open May through September on Saturday and Sundays 1 to 4.
So here is
Or
the
otherwise by
what it used to look like.
It would be nice to see, get in there at some point.
And then there's
Film
the
in there and see
hours.
what's all in there. But with everything going on right now, I don't even know if they're operating tours. So go on the Lehigh County Historical Society website there, and maybe we'll have more.
Yeah, they got everything. The windows are even covered up so you can't see inside. So they may be actually doing some work or something in here. So we'll have to look at trying to get in there in the future and bring you a future video. So I guess until then. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this look of the Lock Ridge Furnace Museum. I want to first off thank Emerald Sound Productions for mentioning this to me and bringing it to my attention, and also bringing me here today to show it to me. It's actually a really nice park. It's a nice place to come and just relax and get out and enjoy the day and the weather, and If you're in the Macungie, Alburtis, Lehigh Valley area and you want to come check it out, be sure to do that. It's got some real good history here. So a lot of the Lehigh Valley was built by concrete, steel, iron, you know, with Bethlehem Steel and Thomas Iron Works over in Copley, and the cement kilns and everything that we've already seen or had in other previous videos. So be sure to check those out if you haven't already on the channel. It should be in the playlist. I can link them in the description below as well. But I do have more footage of that stuff that I need to still edit and put out. I just haven't done it yet. So, but in the meantime, that's going to wrap it up for the look of this one. And glad that I was able to come check it out, and pretty impressive. I'm really impressed. So thanks again for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here and like this content and any other different content that I have, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to notify you of future uploads. So we'll catch you in the next one. Of course, right away, bug in front of my face.